Costa Rica. This is a Central American country, and first of all, look at the population, and then we'll look how those people live with Google Street View and some 360. First, numbers. Costa Rica has around 5.1 million people, with a pretty much growing rate going down, and I think they kind of hit their height, but let's see first. Now, 1955, around 1.1 million people living in this country with 3.5% increase. That would be like 35,000 people. 734 migrants on plus, and median age around 16 years old. One of those nonsense fertility rates 6.6, and urban population around 35%. Fast forward to 2025, now we have the population around 5.1 million people with a 0.45% increase, and yearly change around 23,000 people. Migrants 1,000 on plus, median age around 35. Fertility rate now much more manageable, and they got below replacement in around 2010. Now it's 1.31, and urban population around 85%. So you can see a huge, absolutely huge increase in population. The growing rate clearly slows down, and the net in increasing in population is also going down. Migration pretty much around 1,000 people. So it's pretty much stable for the last few years. They have some mass migration, I say, in the country in 1955, the biggest one compared with what they have before, but not a huge one. Now, by 2050, the population is going to reach around 5.3 million people. And it's going to be the first year they're going to go actually on minus, which is going to be pretty interesting. Yearly change is going to be around minus 5,300 people, and migration is still on plus, on 1,000 people there coming. Median age around 47 years old, and fertility rate keeps stable around 1.3, 1.4 people birth per woman. Urban population around 97%. Now, life expectancy in Costa Rica is very high. It's 81.2 years for both sexes, 83.7 for females, and 78.6 for males, which are huge numbers. Infant mortality rate 6.2, and death under age of 5 7.3. Now, the medical system clearly has some problems. It's not the best, or it's not even the worst as other countries in the region, but clearly they need some funding, let's say, at least. Now, Costa Rica, as you can see, was pretty much a Spanish colony. You can see they speak Spanish. 72% of them are Christians, and 27 of them are pretty much no religion. So probably gonna see some shifting in next few decades, with more people coming in the no religion department. Demographics. Well, you can see the pyramid, the base getting narrow and narrow. You can have a huge male surplus by the age of 54, and then you go in a female surplus, which is kind of interesting, I would say. What else can we find here? Economy. Well, economy, you can see a pretty nice picture here, but the economy is not that so bad from what I can see. The GDP is 102 billion US dollars, and PPP is around 169. Growing rate pretty much on plus, but such a small economy, they should have like 10% per year, and they are not even half of that most of the years. So yeah, things are not that worse, but still they could be much better. It's pretty much a stagnation here, I would say. Anything under 5%, you're not gonna feel anything, especially if you have inflation, and you want to see some growth actually change. It's going to be has to be at least 10% per year with a decrease in population. So that's not happening. But per capita, it's around 19,000 US, which is not that bad, and PPP is around 31,000 US dollars, which again is not so bad. Agriculture 5.5, industry 18.6, and services 75%. So yeah, the Department of Services is doing pretty decent, but they should be at least 85, if not 90%, to see a better increase in the GDP per numbers, but that's not gonna tell you that much. Now, inflation, they say it's minus 0.33%, so things are getting cheaper there. I'm not sure exactly, but it seems to do pretty good in that department. Let's call it like that. Main export is gonna be United States, and the main import still United States. So yeah, unemployment rate here, well, this is 2019, so just before pandemic, and there was 10.5%, which is actually huge numbers. I'm not sure exactly how they cope with that, but maybe by now they got that number down, because that's a huge population that's out of the work. Let's go into corruption now. Costa Rica seems to be pretty decent in this department, and let's see at Costa Rica where they are. Costa Rica 58 points and increasing 3 points. It's not bad. If you were above 60 it would be better, but still, even with that, considering what is happening in the region, it's not actually that bad. Like I say, history, pretty much Costa Rica is gonna be part of the Spanish Empire. We want to say the new Spanish Empire. So yeah. But now let's see how those people live. Fortunately, we have a borderline which is pretty good, and I assume that this is the main city right here. Let me check again. For Costa Rica, this is San Jose, and it's so densely populated. You can see it from above. Look at this, it's insanely big here. So yeah, now let's move to the north of the country. Let's see what we can find here. We have these small towns here. Now, judging by the GDP, corruption, and population also, things could look pretty good here. So I am actually very hopeful it's gonna find very nice stuff here. Now again, it's not gonna be perfect. No country ever is perfect, but it could be much better than we see in the region, at least. So this is 2017, and those are fairly new cars for that time. Now they have some bars on the windows that shows crime rate not so well. Here the road also not so bad, and keep in mind this is a very remote town. They even have an airstrip here, which is pretty decent, but things doesn't seem to look that bad here. Ooh, they have a lot of ATVs and bikes here. Cars, this is 2020, so just in a pandemic here, and we have that strip there. Look at it, this is a very remote town, and so far it doesn't look that bad. Here, this is how they cross the river, probably. Pretty rudimentary way they do it, but hey, if it's working for them, I guess it's pretty decent. Now, let's move on to other places. I will try to make those videos as short as possible, because like I realized that 1 hour for those videos, nobody's gonna watch it anyway, and it's gonna be pretty much a waste of time. So yeah, I'm gonna try to make it as simple as possible. It's not gonna be that in depth probably, but yes, it is what it is. People are not watching that much of the video, like watching only like 2 or 3 minutes, and that's not even close enough to YouTube to get those videos recommended. So that's why the views is so low. So yeah, we're gonna just move around. Let's see here in the San Jose. Let's see how things really are here. This is 2021. Streets pretty good. Those cables, yeah, typically South American or Central American in this case. Roads not so bad. Those buildings, I never approve those, because it's just a horrible way to have a house and apartment. This is 20 miles per hour. They have in miles here. Pretty interesting. That's a nice house, but it's an embassy. Probably it's a Japan embassy. They have some barbed wire there. It's okay, I can excuse that, you know, have barbed wire on the Japan embassy. Maybe any embassy has one of those security feature like barbed wire, but still not a very clean picture. This is 2023. Cars, this one a bit old, but the rest of them fairly new. Roads pretty good. Not so bad actually. Yeah, so far it's pretty good. Let's see the residential area. You can see not exactly that many 360s or street views here, but we're gonna work with what we have. So fortunately gonna find some decent pictures. Yeah, from above it looks like everybody's just jamming together. At least they have decent roads, I give you that, for now at least. But yeah, not that many trees. Not just, it's one thing that you can actually see a difference between rich neighborhoods and poor one. It's the amount of the green, the trees they have around them. So you can see not that many in one region. That shows me that things aren't exactly that great there. And here you can see a bit more green, houses a bit spread around. This is probably a gated community, and judging from above with those pools and big houses, I would say this area it's for the rich only. And I guess this is the gate right here around this. We have the highway, probably it's on the underground or whatever. It looks pretty much like a gated community, I think. Yeah, this one doesn't even work, so probably this is the main entrance right here. And yeah, see, nice on the hills house, pretty good. And we have a 360 here. Okay, let's check this one. Hopefully it's gonna work. And they have a trail to the forest here. Probably they can take that, but yeah, if you wanna go, I'm not sure it's been exactly properly positioned there. But yeah, you can see where the rich people are. Like I said, and have more green around it. That's pretty much a good place to look for them. So yeah, if you wanna have a little bit more of those rich vibe neighborhoods, you should plant more trees, I would say, and it's gonna improve a lot. This is 2024 December, very recently, but the quality of those street views just horrible. But oh, something probably some European cars. I'm not sure exactly. This again probably one of those gated community once again, and it looks fairly decent. Not as good as we saw those in the hills, but still pretty decent. Even those one. A lot of gated communities, so probably like I said. Those are expensive house for only a few people that can afford it, and probably they're offering better protection against the crime rate, let's call it like that. So yeah, probably those people are gonna choose to live in those one, even though it's not gonna be cheap, obviously. And it looks better also. See, you have a gated community, you have this land, you can do pretty much whatever they want with them as a developer. And it looks much better than the average land, I would say. Judging from above, at least, we see them how crowded those small places in the city are. So yeah, things are not looking that great. But here, again, judging by those pools and the lack of 360s on the street views, it shows me that they are again one of those gated community when very few people actually can afford to live there. So yeah. Even with 5 million people, might say, oh, maybe it's not that hard to manage, but it is. We see them even like 10,000 people, it's still very hard to manage them. We see how an island, pretty much in entire country with 10,000 people looks like, and it could be a bit overwhelming, I have to say, especially if you don't have that much economy. It could run you into a big trouble there. So yeah, here Costa Rica doesn't look so bad, especially here in the main city. I kind of like it, I have to say. Look pretty nice, very green in some areas. Probably this is the downtown or something like that. But it looks pretty nice. They have even this huge park here. Yeah, we should use more trees, but pretty good. That one that I see it earlier, I really like it. A lot of those huge trees. I think it was around here. Big trees, they cover see, I like this one. Big trees, they cover the road. Probably in the summer you're not gonna feel that heat. Actually looks very nice. I kind of like that. That place looks pretty nice. Now here probably is gonna be the poorest, not so rich ones. As you can see, a lot of cables here on the above. Probably in those gated community they don't have those, because come on, they hate it. Yeah, a lot of cables here. The land not so big, not that many trees, and probably those people is gonna feel the heat much more aggressively than others. Here probably again one of those gated communities, but it's kind of halfway right, because look at this, they still jam it together and not that many trees. So there is room to improve this one, but clearly they're gonna have a much better life than those outside those lands. And you can see them from above here. See, not that many trees, pretty close to each other, I would say. Fire hazard could be here, but still much better. I mean, I'd rather live in a place like this, even I hate that close there with others, than living, let's say, let's find a random place, someone like here. It's just no trees, no greens, a lot of bars on the windows, cables everywhere. Things are not looking great here. So yeah, see the difference, spot the difference. See, they're doing the right thing. They're doing the right thing because it's 5.1 million, and then they're gonna reach around 5.3. So not that much increase in population, and they have migrants in the country. So things clearly are doing much better then, and we can confirm that. But what we saw in other countries nearby, things are doing better here. You can do much better here. Unfortunately, gonna be the same old story as everywhere else. There's gonna be rich people and bad people, and not everybody's gonna do well. Doesn't matter which country you are. You're always gonna have winners and losers, just the way our world is built. Oh, they have some golf course here. It's pretty nice. And I'm probably one of those gated community again, and probably this is the main entrance. That is even allowed to see it, so yeah. Yeah, again, this one looks better. They could use more trees. I will plant as many trees and a tall trees as I can in those regions. If I have a house here, just cover it all up. It's gonna look much better. They have a lot of those new neighborhoods here, I have to say. Look at this. They are looking pretty good, so maybe not exactly so bad, but here from above, at least I can see things are not doing that well. And let's check them anyway. Unfortunately, we don't have a street view here, so you have to go for those 360s, but I don't think it's gonna tell us that much of the story. Yeah, I can already say from above you can see it. It's not that great as we saw in other places, but most likely it's gonna be cheaper, right? So yeah, things are not doing great. It would be better if we have those 360, actually check them, or street views even better, to see exactly how things are here. From above, even if we have a 360, it's not gonna tell us exactly that much of the story, but we can see not exactly a nice place to live in this part of the city. Let's check this one. Probably this is one of the different city. They have a stadium. They don't have that many 360, only in those important places, let's call it like that, or nice places. Yeah, that's pretty nice. I like it. But they have pretty significant numbers from what I can see when people actually in those gated community, whatever, when people seems to do pretty decent. Here on the side of the city, yeah, from above things are not looking great, but at least they have some more breathable space, bit bigger spaces. But yeah, the same is to look at this. You can find, like I said, those good neighborhoods even from above. You just have to follow the green and you're gonna find even this one. It looks better, and I don't think it's a gated community here, but it looks better than, let's say, this one. Things are not looking so well there. Here we have some streets. Okay, let's find those straight line streets, whatever. Well, cables everywhere, but road is pretty good, I give you that. Not so bad. Things are not exactly horrible here, but again, not so great when you have to live with bars at the windows. That's not a life, in my opinion. That's just pretty much living in an open space prison. Yeah, not so well. Well, at least they have good roads, especially in the city here. So yeah, that's pretty nice. Let's check this 360 here, and then we're gonna move out to the country. Oof, a lot of bikes here. That's an event on my taste. I like it. Yeah, so we can see, like I say, from above, those good neighborhoods immediately, and those bad ones even faster. It is what it is. Landscape wise, it looks very nice in Costa Rica. I mean, kind of like it. Let's check this road, probably one of those main one. Oh, it doesn't work. Okay, this one is working. Okay, this we have something. Oh, it's a 360 actually. Well, the road doesn't look so bad. Anything around the road doesn't look so well. But I guess it is what it is. It's connecting probably the capital with the southern border or something here, or not that close to southern border, but to this city here. It's town, not exactly a city. Let's see how those lives here. Again, roads very good, kind of like it. A bit of garbage, but I didn't find that much in other places. So yeah, actually in a garbage department, this seems to do pretty well. Not exactly a bad place, isn't it? And with that going down population, economy going up, and not so bad also in GDP. Unemployment, yeah, it could be a huge problem, but who knows, maybe a lot of people that are not unemployed living in these remote places, or they're, as any other country, a lot of young people staying unemployed. Ooh, that's a nice way. Yeah, landscape wise, it's great here. Definitely you can see a vacation here, and the corruption going pretty much lower. It could have a great future, even in the near future, not just waiting for the next 50 years. In 25 years, you can do very well here. This doesn't look so bad, I have to say. It's definitely worth a vacation, especially here in the wild. Come on, give me this one. I wanna see this lake. just forever, whatever make those 360, just make them better. You just don't post them if they are not that great. See, it's just, I know you want to post it, but come on, it's gonna look even worse. Not a huge country, but still a huge space for the population, so there is no reason, in my opinion, to not start building new towns with better land, better, look at those guys here, bigger yards for the people that own those properties. So yeah, that would be a great starting point, I would say, because, and also the medical system, obviously. Things not so bad. Have a lot of activities that you can do here, and they have migration on plus, so clearly they're doing something great in comparison with the neighbors. But again, those bars on the windows, that shows me kind of a slightly different picture. But yeah, maybe they can work on that, because they have low corruption, at least aiming for the lower corruption. Like I say, in the next 25 years, it could be actually a great place here. It is definitely worth staying and investing. Yeah, it's not like one of those countries when they have zero hope for anything getting better in their lifetime. Here, I think it's exactly the opposite. It's actually worth it. It might actually even make sense to stay than just leave. Ooh, we see here some pretty nice houses. Let me see. Let's check them. Yeah, the beach is pretty nice. I like it. What else? They have a pool here. Probably those are resorts, maybe, judging by how they look. Let me check this one. Yeah, those are resorts. Not so bad, actually. Yeah, kind of apartments building, but not exactly resorts. But yeah, pretty good also. Houses here, they have a pool here. I can see another guy with a pool here, so probably they're also for renting a lot of those. But yeah, still pretty, again, pools here. Those are actually made for, definitely for renting, and they're still building. A bit jammed together, I would say, but at least they have those trees, and that's gonna improve tremendously. That's gonna look 10 times better when you have those trees. And actually, this is no road here. Oh, it's a dirt road. Then having like a clear land, just nothing on it, like they say they have here. See, they have a bit trees, but not that much. But it looks much better. Look at this, when you have those trees here, that's gonna cover you, they're gonna shield you from the heat. It's gonna improve a lot the life quality, I would say. So yeah, things are looking pretty good on this beach. Maybe it's something, a tourist attraction, something like that, very important. It looks nice, have to say, and it doesn't seem to be a huge town here. So yeah, they have those rings that connect different towns in the region, but road is pretty good. Again, those cables just never set well with me. It looks pretty nice, I have to say. I didn't find anything that bad, at least not so far. Let's check these ones here. Again, those straight lines, clearly a much modern city, but oh, that's a nice church. Not so bad. Again, cables, yeah. Pretty standard. Pretty standard for those regions, just the way it is, but yeah. Not a huge country, so you can see a lot of those, from the country. Let's say if you go there for 2 weeks, 10 days, and you stay on the road, you can find pretty nice stuff. Ooh, we have here, let's check this one. It looks nice. Me personally, I really like it, this one. It's one of the best so far that we can see. Oh, look at this, the water. Ooh, very clean, very nice. I like it. Definitely much better than other countries in the region. Again, it feels like it's worth it staying here and not leaving for other places. It feels like that. Now, this is, I don't consider it this garbage, because it's trees and leaves and all that stuff, but it looks pretty wild. Kind of like it here. Yeah, nice landscape, nice places to actually get born and even live here, have a nice childhood, and then aiming for that low corruption and improving the life year by year after year. It could set you nice for the future. You could have a really nice future in Costa Rica, I would say. and even has the name nice. Like when you think Costa Rica, you think like, I don't know, coffee, you think like nice beaches, nice landscapes. I never thought it's gonna have like good roads, low corruption in the region, obviously, and pretty decent economy, and also the population that is going down. So they realized that okay, even we start with 1.1 million people. If now today there were 1 million people as they used to be in 1950, that would be like one of those richest places on earth. And with that landscape like that, it's gonna be extremely expensive even to enter this country. Now, hopefully, it's not gonna be the case in the future, but it looks nice. It looks nice. Nice place to be. Nice place to live. And again, it's giving that sentence that in time, like I say, in the next few decades, you're gonna see some improvements. Not like we see in other countries, just pretty much no hope for the future. It's just here, it feels like they're gonna improve tremendously in the next, like I say, 25 years. And it's gonna be actually a great place, not just to visit, but to actually live there, not thinking which country you should go to make a better living. Yeah, of course, they're not gonna be for every single one of them, but that's why that lowing population is gonna intervene. And they realize that, well, first of all, we don't need that many people, and second of all, the less we are, the more efficient we are, and the richer we are. So that's also a huge improvement. And not to mention that small communities also look better. Now, this playground doesn't look so great to me, so probably it's in a bad neighborhood. You can see here cables, cages on the windows and doors. So yeah, things are not looking that great for these ones. But they have some other good examples, which it is worth mentioning, I have to say. This one, again, look at this. Let's check the road, for example. The roads are pretty nice in this country. Just look at this. Not so bad. Wherever you go, it's pretty decent roads. You can even have some wood for fire if you want to take them here. It is not bad. Costa Rica is not bad, I have to say. Yeah, like I said, it's definitely worth a vacation in Costa Rica more than other Southern American countries. It is worth to come here on vacation, and like I say, if you get born there, it's gonna give you a sense that things are gonna get better in the future. So if you stay there and improve it, you're gonna see the results. This is at least how I feel when I see it from above, comparing with other countries. It looks that they have that nice hope. Oh, look at those windows. Yeah, see, that's the land. That's pretty much one property should be that big. That's kind of the land you need for having a decent life, I would say. Now, clearly, it's not gonna happen for everyone right now, but in the future, like I said, they have a lot of land, not a big, small country. This is the land that you have, and they maintain it very nicely. I like it here. I would like to have more trees and a pool, and the house just a bit better, but not so bad. Actually, not so bad at all. That's a nice place. That's really a nice place to live. Yeah, Costa Rica, they're doing some nice stuff here. Not everything is gonna be nice. I mean, look at this. This one, I don't like it. Comparing, let's say, with that yard, how nice it was on green, and some people living like this, clearly there is a problem. You cannot sustain a life like you can say, wow, things are doing great. If you're living in one of those places, yeah, probably you hate everything about this country. But if you live like that guy in that nice garden, that nice land, that will be a different story. Even if you might be just a bit slightly poorer than those living in a city, overall, you're gonna have a much better life. You probably should have some scores for the life of the people, which one it lives better, not just the money and even experience that they have. I would say those money. Oh, we're gonna go to see a movie at the cinema. We're gonna go out to drink. But those people in those countryside, they could have even better experience. If you have, like I say, we go to the waterfall, you go to the lake to swim, you go to the beach. First of all, it doesn't cost money, which is very good, and second of all, let's face it, that's pretty much a vacation. Yeah, things looking pretty good for the guys here, for the people in Costa Rica. I have to say, I kind of like it. I like it. I didn't expect to see that nice things here. Ooh, this beach probably is gonna be great if the quality of the 360 is good. Yeah, that's nice. And this is 2021, and those are expensive cars here in the parking lot. So yeah, clear they're doing very well in this country. It could be better as always. So not saying it's perfect, but probably that's a Mercedes. Yeah, it is nice. It is nice to see that there is some hopes. I think in Central America is the best country that I see so far, and even compared with the South America, it's still in top 3 at least, with Chile and Uruguay. And maybe because the population is going down, who knows, you can actually feel that differences, not just, I don't know, papers say, oh, it's a lot of people. The country will, like, say the population that's going down is going to have a bad future. Well, it could be exactly the opposite, especially the near future, and everybody right now it's alive and want to have a good life for their lifetime, you know. That would be an interesting see, but that's gonna be in the future. We're gonna see the future is gonna tell us which one was right. But I keep defending my position that less people are better, especially if you go in gradually with time. Like I say, 2% decrease in population per year should be very manageable by every country. You're gonna improve the life of those who live right now, and also those people always became more efficient. So you can actually feel a increase in the GDP if you care that much about the GDP numbers. And overall, you can see you're gonna live much better. So yeah, well, I think that's Costa Rica. I kind of like it. Everything I see so far is pretty good. Even in the main city, like I say, always go randomly on those maps. I know choosing good side, bad side. Seems to do pretty well. They have some decent new build neighborhoods, I would say. Those gated community, those are the people that how the people should live, you know, that the minimum, I would say. This right here is the minimum, right? That's the absolutely minimum. And with bigger lands and nicer houses is pretty good for everyone. A house like this, just you need a bigger land to put that house and you're pretty much settled, I would say, in the house department. Here I would say is the second tier. Not that much land, but at least you have the house and the neighborhood, which is pretty good. Then you just have to work on the bigger land and you're gonna be pretty much settled in this department, I would say. Yeah, it seems to do pretty well for themselves. Not so bad. Clearly a lot of things to improve as always, but from the Central America and even South America, they doing pretty good stuff here. I like it. It is definitely worth a trip here. I didn't check this one, but you don't even have that many 360s here. Pretty strange, because not even a street view at least. Looks pretty big. Yeah, not so great from above, I would say. You can see much more poor communities here, but definitely it's worth saying that with time they're gonna get better. But yeah, that's only for the time to tell. Otherwise, it looks pretty nice. I like it, I have to say. They have some nice neighborhoods. They have some nice future, I would say. Again, lowering that corruption number is going to help tremendously, improve the medical system, education. Roads seems to do pretty good so far, and yeah, keep inflation in a place. The GDP is going to follow with the GDP is going to grow once the population goes down. It goes to those two metrics. They're going to get more efficient, and you're going to have a bigger pool to spread around those populations. So yeah, overall it's going to be better, I say. Good job for them, I have to say. It's a pretty decent managed country, for I see, at least for me, for the above, comparing with other countries. Again, I'm not saying it's perfect. Clearly there's no country perfect in this world, and probably never will be, but it looks pretty good, I have to say it. And nice landscape, pretty decent life for I would say not exactly majority of the people, but it looks better than others, definitely. And clearly some decent perspective for the future. It is worth staying in a country like this and improve it with time. So yeah, that was the video. Check the other videos, and see you next time.